Hello my crafting friends, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. If you are new, my name is Leanne and I am so glad you are here. I hope that you consider hitting that subscribe button before you leave so that you don't miss out on my future videos. If you are subscribed, please make sure your notification bell is turned on because YouTube kind of does what it wants sometimes, and if you do not have the notification bell turned on, sometimes they won't let you know when a video is posted, even if it's from someone that you have already subscribed to. I don't know why. There seems to be a big mystery as to how and why they do the things they do, but that's just the reality of it. All right, let's get into today's DIYs. I'm really excited to be bringing you some Christmas in July. Now I know it's early, so just hang with me for a second. There are a couple reasons to get started. One might be because you just love Christmas, or maybe you're thinking of doing some Christmas gifts for people, some DIYs, and some of these are going to be with things that maybe you're going to come across this summer while you are doing vacations or whatnot, and it's good to kind of have these things in your mind. Even if you don't do these DIYs now, you can save this video and come back to it at a later date, but maybe this will get you some ideas going in your head for things to be on the lookout for. So let's get into these super easy DIYs. They are all Christmas ornaments, which I think are fun to have your own tree filled with memories from the different years, as well as really great gift ideas because they don't take up a lot of room to store, and I think people enjoy having a special ornament on their tree that maybe reminds them of a particular moment or just made by someone that they love. So let's get into these DIYs. For this first one, I have some seashells that actually I picked up from the beach last year on vacation with the intention of making this DIY, but never got around to it, so I'm doing it now. But you may have some from your own vacations, or perhaps you could just pick these up from the Dollar Tree or a rummage sale or a thrift store, whatever, just because maybe you like the nautical theme. But I am taking three. I kind of picked through them to get the sizes I wanted, and we're going to make a little snowman ornament out of it. And you are going to stack them, but you don't want to lay them completely flat, otherwise the ornament will angle backwards, so I hope that makes sense. I'm just putting some hot glue on the very bottom of it, and you can see how there's a lot of gaps there. I did go back and take some hot glue and just kind of let it pour down in to hopefully give more connection points, just because there wasn't a lot, because I wanted to keep them raised up. I hope I'm making sense in describing this right. I saw this picture somewhere sometime last year, but I don't remember seeing like directions on how to make it, so I'm trying to describe it the best I can. And now I'm taking some twine and I'm just kind of hot gluing the ends together to make it easier to feed it down in the top of the very top one, and this is going to be our little hanger. Now, hindsight is 2020. This is better done before you connect all of the shells together, but I did make it work with just a little tool, kind of shoving it down in there. We got the twine attached. And now I am just taking some orange and black acrylic paint, and I have this little tool from Dollar Tree. I'm not sure what it's for. It might be a Cricut tool. I don't know. But it has a little ball on the end, and I'm using that to just kind of dab in the paint. We're making our eyes and mouth and buttons, and then we're going to do a little carrot nose. You could also use a tiny fine tip paintbrush or the end of a small paintbrush to do this, or even like a Q-tip or a toothpick, whatever you've got on hand. And we're just making a little face on our snowman. And I'm not adding on a scarf or a hat, although you could do that if you wanted. I just wanted to keep it really simple. And then I'm writing on the back with a Sharpie, vacate 2020, because this is from our 2020 vacation. But you could do it for any year, or like I said, if you just want to make a nautical themed ornament, that's fine too. Now, I did notice that I was just hanging, it was kind of leaning forward, and I didn't like that, so I just took a little bit of hot glue, kind of like the back onto the top of the very top shell, and just pulled the twine forward until it dried, and that helped hold it up better. Now, I am not one of those DIYers, and good for them that they do this. I just don't have it in me to pull out a Christmas tree to show you how these look hung up, so I'm just showing you them laid out here. But they came out super cute. I did make two of these, and I think this would be a really fun thing to do, to gather some shells from your vacation and maybe give them to everybody in the family that was there to commemorate their summer vacation from that year. For this next one, we are taking some old school Christmas light bulbs. I actually had picked these up at a rummage sale probably, I don't know, 10 years ago. And I had a ton of them. And then I got rid of a lot of them before we moved a couple of years ago. But I hung on to a few because I knew I still wanted to do some DIYs with them. And now I'm kind of wishing I'd kept all of them. But anyway, I am just taking some twine. I decided to attach it on opposite sides first for our little hanger. And then I'm wrapping twine around it just using some hot glue. You do have to hot glue pretty much the whole thing because there's all of the ridges on the top. So in order to get it to stay, you need to do that. I am not painting this, but you could of course paint the bulb if it was not a color you liked. You could easily do that, but I'm keeping this very simple. And I'm sharing this one now because I think that finding these old ones are pretty easy to find at like rummage sales or thrift stores. So I'm sharing with you now in the summer. And this filler, sorry I'm just showing this upside down. I thought I was doing the right side up. I'm trying to get better at it. This is out in Dollar Trees right now, and it is not labeled as Christmas. It's just called decorative filler, but it looks Christmassy to me. So pick it up when you see it. And I just found a couple of little light white balls that I trimmed down along with a little pine cone. Earlier I was burning with a lighter off the little fuzzies off of the twine. You can do that. That's of course optional. And then I did have some jingle bells in my stash from last year. These are also from Dollar Tree. And I'm just hot gluing those on. Just kind of whatever little things I had on hand to decorate this. And I think it's super cute and would be a really fun Christmas ornament. And you can even use some old lights that you have if you have any of these old school large ones. All right, moving on to our next one. I have these picture frames I picked up from Hobby Lobby on clearance, along with this paper from Hobby Lobby, also on clearance. But you can also find the paper, Christmas paper all year round at the craft stores, and you can find mini frames at Dollar Tree as well. And then I'm just digging through my little stash of Christmas things that I had from last year. Some are from Walmart, some are from Dollar Tree. And I'm just kind of going through to see what I have. I thought about using the stamp. I was trying to see if it was like the right size. There are so many different ways you could make this little ornament that we're doing, but I just went through my stash to see what I had since not all the Christmas stuff is out yet, especially at Dollar Tree. So now I'm picking out some paper and matching it up with the embellishment I'm deciding to use. Now you could also just print off a photo of your kids or a family photo or of your pet or whatever you want. Maybe if you're using this as a gift, you could put a family photo in there, or maybe if it's just your yearly ornament that you like to have, and you could put the date on the top. But I'm gonna go with some scrap paper and an embellishment. I did decide to paint my frame, so I am roughing it up just a little bit with sandpaper to kind of get the glossiness off, and going in with the Waverly chalk paint in the color Crimson. And I am going to give this a couple of coats, letting it fully dry in between. And I'm just going to do the top and the edges. I originally was just going to try to just get the silver, but the silver on the side was kind of hard to do without getting the black part on the side as well. So I just did the top and the sides and gave that some couple of coats. I think maybe I did like 2.5 coats. And then I had this little green bow from my stash from last year from the Dollar Tree, but it was a little too sparkly for this particular DIY. So I'm going in with some burnt umber paint, and I am just giving that a coat. You can still kind of see the green through the paint, but it's definitely a much more muted color, and that just went well with this particular DIY. And then once my frame was all dried, I did go in with some Mod Podge. I do feel like that helps keep the paint from chipping on projects, especially like with metal or glass, but I do use it pretty much on all projects. I'm using the matte finish, but you can do whatever you want. If you are enjoying this video, I would love it if you would give this video a thumbs up, because that helps me out and it lets me know what kind of things you all like to see. And once again, if you're new, don't forget to subscribe before you leave. That would be super cool to have you part of my YouTube family. So everything's dry. I have this green twine that's from the Dollar Tree. I've had it for a while, and this is a little mini ornament from Walmart from last year. It was like a 6-pack for like $2, $1.97 I think. And I wanted to use the green twine to attach this. So I just tied a simple, I didn't want to do a knot and tie it a bunch of times. So I just tied it once, put a little dab of hot glue to hold it in, and then twisted it just because I liked that look. Putting in the paper, you can't use the glass when you're using an embellishment, so I left that out. But if you were just doing like a picture, you certainly could. You could put picture on top of some scrapbook paper.
whatever you want to do here. So I'm just going to hot glue this a little bit above and then trim that down, and then I am going to hot glue the little ornament in the front so that it didn't wobble all over the place. And then I was like, oh yeah, I need a hanger, so I'm going to use more of that green twine. I took the back off here, even though I'm attaching it just at the top, because I didn't want to accidentally glue the back on, because I want to be, you know, I could easily change this out if I wanted to. So lots of different options with these little mini picture frames. Like I said, Dollar Tree does have them as well, but I got this package at Walmart on clearance, and it was a better deal than even buying them individually at Dollar Tree. But this is how this one came out. Super cute. Like I said, you could write the year on the top or bottom of the frame. You could add some embellishment with some greenery or bows if you wanted, but I really liked the look of this one, so that is it.
Well, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope that you did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up by hitting that like button down below. That really does help me out. Say hello in the comments. All of those interactions really help out my channel and help you to know that people are interested in my videos. And once again, if you're new, please consider subscribing before you leave. We're not going to do all Christmas for the remainder of July. I think it's going to be one more Christmas one coming up. We're going to be transitioning to fall before you know it, because fall stuff is starting to come out in stores. So you need the ideas so you know what to pick up before it's too late. And then we'll also have some just regular everyday DIYs as well, and some hauls along the way whenever that comes up. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.